Let's go. Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict Chiefs pregame show, playoff edition. It's the divisional round. Patrick Allen, Sterling Holmes, Adam Best, and Matt Connor. We haven't had this crew together in a long time. It's good to see you fellas. How you feeling? Kickoff is just about 30 minutes away.
I have a feeling that Trevor Lawrence is going to lose on a Saturday. I have a feeling that it's going to be a snow game, a rain game, and he's going to struggle. I have a feeling Travis Kelce is going to dominate. I have a feeling the Chiefs move on with a big old dub.
Can I just say that the whole Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday is the stupidest stat maybe I've ever heard. Like, they're like, well, he's never lost on a Saturday in the NFL or high school or college. First of all, most high schools play football on Fridays. The NFL plays football on Sundays. So what you're telling me is he had a good run in college. Like, get out of here, man. Such a dumb stat.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, do they spell, is it Duval or Duval? Like, is that, are
it's they fail? Do fail.
Like, I think they're saying what's going to happen today versus like some county thing. I've already made that joke on Twitter. I'm just going to keep repeating it until it like actually applies.
Since we're, bitter enemies today with people from Jacksonville, like whose rallying cry is the county that they live in? Like when your city is that lame that people aren't going to be like Jacksonville, they're like Duval County. I live in Chicago. Can you imagine if I would like the Bears fans were like Cook County, baby?
And how bad of a city do you have to be for Florida to be embarrassed by you?
Right.
Oh, I'm wearing no jorts today in solidarity, just to prove a point. No jorts today because we know that's what everyone from Jacksonville wears. So we weren't allowed to cut those off today.
You guys,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I ordered a special. Travis Kelce has his own line of streetwear called like True Colors. And I got real hyped looking at it. And so I ordered myself like a hoodie thinking I would look good in Travis Kelce streetwear. It was like the fastest return I could ever. Like I put it on and my wife was like, what in the world are you wearing? And I was like, I'm cool like Travis Kelce, right? She's like, dude, just get that off right now. This is like not. So it takes a certain like swagger and I don't have it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to find the right thing to wear for days like this.
Well, like Mahomes has those really awesome sunglasses, the like Doc Brown, Back to the Future style, Bret Hart, like sunglasses that he wears. And he always looks so awesome. And I see them and I'm like, man, I really want a pair of those. And then I look at my stupid like melon head in the mirror and I'm like, it's not going to work, man. Like, they're probably really expensive. Don't even bother.
Don't hurt yourself.
Right. By the way, Isaac White, see in the chat, is it snowing in KC right now? What's the weather like? It's a little bit of snow. It's not really sticking, more of a wintry mix. There's going to be some precipitation. I will say this behooves Kansas City more so than Jacksonville. I do think it's a little overblown. Not everyone on Jacksonville is from the South. Not every single dude on their team has not played in the snow. But what we do know, Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, in recent memory, I don't think he's played in a snow game. The times he has played in games where the weather's not great, he struggled. We know that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes can spin it in poor weather. I think this helps KC more than it hurts Jacksonville.
I read he's never won a game in the NFL in temperatures below 40. And if you think about that division, Jacksonville, warm weather. Nashville, it gets a little bit cold. But then you have Houston, which is warm, and a dome in Indianapolis. He's going to play in weather that he is not accustomed to. I think that's an advantage for the Chiefs. Not the hugest deal in the world, but it could be a factor.
I think the big thing is, right, they'll be uncomfortable, right? Like you're already on the road. You're not in your home stadium. Maybe the opposing team's heated benches malfunction. Like you're getting booed. So it's just like one more thing for them to not hopefully get into a rhythm.
By the way, guys, Go ahead, Matt, if you want to go ahead. I was going to
Go ahead,
do a little dive. I see some questions. We've been talking about DVOA all week long leading up into this game. Someone asked, what does DVOA stand for? Great question. Defense adjusted value over average. So what this does, it's a good analytic tool that takes into account opponent and situation. In my mind, it's better than PFF. I know a lot of fans in Kansas City, you have your qualms with PFF. This is a better tool to use. If you want to look at DVOA, where Jacksonville struggles, they are 30th against the pass. The Chiefs offense, they are number 1. The Jacksonville defense is also 32nd, which is last in the NFL, DVOA against tight ends. Well, the Chiefs have the best tight end in football in Travis Kelce. If you want some numbers, some analytics, there you go.
I want to touch just briefly on what I know we're all looking forward to most today, and that is, of course, the halftime performance from Lil Jon. Any Lil Jon fans out there in the chat today?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not a Lil Jon fan, we will be back at halftime breaking down the first half action. But hit the inactives here for you guys today. No surprises. Shane Buechele, Josh Cahill, Austin Ryder, Darian Kennard, Marcus Kemp, Malik Herring. That's pretty much been the usual suspects. Unfortunately, we've known this for a couple of days now. McCole Hardman won't play today. But, I mean, do you all feel pretty okay about that? I mean, the Chiefs have been rolling, and now they've got that sort of similar skill set in Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Kadarius Toney, he provides the same kind of element horizontally, the gimmick plays, and I'd actually argue that he's a more complete receiver than McCole Hardman. He's shown a better acumen for making downfield plays, contested catches, and whatnot. I think he's a little bit of a better route runner. He automatically has a good rapport with Patrick Mahomes, which is strange because we've seen guys like MVS and McCole be a little off at times. I think they're going to unleash him. I read this week that he is 9th in the NFL in targets per snap. So when he's out there, they're looking to feed him.
I wanted to ask you guys, in a game like this, there's always these sort of heroes that emerge. And yeah, guys have good games throughout the course of the season, but it all gets amplified in the playoffs, right? And I think we can all think back on the previous runs that this Chiefs team has had, and guys like Damian Williams and Sammy Watkins kind of having standout games. Who for you today, is there somebody that you're looking for that you think is going to stand out? Is it a Kadarius Toney, an Isaiah Pacheco? Maybe obviously we expect Mahomes to be Mahomes and Kelce to be Kelce, but who's going to be that X factor in this game? Let's start with you, Matt Connor.
Well, I mean, I would have gone with Kadarius Toney in that instance, and they're Andy Reid said earlier they're getting back into the Tyreek Hill sections of the playbook with Toney as he earns more and more of like trust and snaps and proves he's over that hamstring, and that health concern kind of further fades into the rearview mirror. So I think in a game like this, if you're the Chiefs and you can see Kadarius Toney really carry the load, it even makes a huge difference in the way they're going to approach the offseason in terms of personnel, because of you're already starting with a guy you could build on from, like, more than just the gadget guy, more than just the whatever. I think they're going to test him, and I think he's going to come up well on the test.
Adam?
This is kind of cheating, but I'm going Chris Jones. Guard Tyler Shatley is last in the NFL among guards in pass blocking win rate. Just a nightmare matchup for them. Their other guard, Brandon Sheriff, is a good player, but at some point, Chris is going to get a one-on-one there and annihilate him. I also think that Noah Gray, maybe, they're bad against tight ends. That just doesn't open things up for Kelce. It also opens things up for Noah Gray, maybe an under-the-radar hero for this game.
Love it. All right, Sterling.
Offensive line. Orlando Brown Jr. to Andrew Wiley. Junior. Go dogs. No, left tackle to right. What, Verderam's not here. Someone had to do a Verderam impression for him. Yeah. But the offensive line, they've been so good since the Cincinnati Bengals game. That was the last bad game they've really had, especially Orlando Brown Jr. And I've said it for a while. That game, Joe Tooney was out. Joe Tooney is healthy. He's not only one of the best guards in football, he's also the guy that I think the entire offensive line looks to, the veteran presence. He's the gel guy as well, from Creed Humphrey to Orlando Brown Jr. There's been no talk about Orlando Brown Jr. There's been very little talk about Andrew Wiley. You know why? They've been solid, especially Orlando Brown Jr. Wiley still has a couple of questionable moments here and there, but I don't think Mahomes takes a single sack in this game. That'll be my hot take. He stays upright.
I love it. I love it. I've got in this one L'Jarius Sneed. I think L'Jarius Sneed's going to have 2 sacks in this game. Steve Spagnuolo, James Palmer was talking on NFL Network before the game. He said, he's really tapped into the Chiefs, that Steve Spagnuolo's, he's dialed up a couple new exotic blitzes. And when I think about Jacksonville, they're going to be double teaming Chris Jones. This is nothing new. Teams do this all the time, and he still splits those double teams. But they're going to try to take Chris Jones away to give Trevor Lawrence time. And if I'm Steve Spagnuolo, I'm hoping Frank Clark steps up. I'm hoping George Karlaftis gets in there. But he loves those exotic blitzes, and if he's cooked up some new ones, if I'm thinking exotic, I'm thinking he's going to send Willie Gay or Nick Bolton or L'Jarius Sneed. And I think L'Jarius Sneed is the sneakiest move to pull out a couple times. So I've got 2 sacks for L'Jarius Sneed, and maybe we even get lucky, get a blindside sack fumble. By the way, shout out to Love One Y for the super chat. Let's go Chiefs. Shout out to my mom, who is an Arrowhead Addict super fan. We're huge with mothers all over the place, especially Sterling. They send fan mail. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to get into the reasons why. I don't know.
Have you guys seen Stranger Things? He's like the lifeguard that all the moms have the hots for, maybe.
Does that mean he's going to get smoked before the season is over?
I hope not.
Wait
I'll have to find a new co-host.
It didn't work out well for the lifeguard. Spoiler alert.
Similar mustaches.
Hey, I want to talk about Cisco really quickly. He had a few dirty hits in the first go-around for the Jags against Kansas City. And if he does the same thing again, he better go back to making the thong song, because it's not going to end well for him. Do y'all think Juju Smith-Schuster, given an opportunity, he turns around a little bit, Juju gives him a little forearm shiver, a little extra on a block over the middle?
Well, if you think back,
what? Sorry, I had to do that joke.
No, you're good. If you think back to his time with the Steelers, Vontaze Burfict, who is probably top 5 dirtiest players in NFL history, he had that shot on Antonio Brown, which probably ruined Antonio Brown's brain. And then Juju, I think it was the next game, hit Vontaze with one of the nastiest back blocks you'll ever see in your life. He's a pretty physical dude when he wants to be. So, but just don't do anything dumb. Can't afford to get you suspended.
Yeah, it's all about discipline in a game like this, right? The Chiefs are a better team. They should win. They don't want to go off the rails. What did you guys make of the comments from Trevor Lawrence? I think they were a little overblown, but it's great fodder for Chiefs fans about he didn't expect that Arrowhead could be louder than wherever it is that the Jaguars play down there. Did you guys take offense to that, or just, he's just answering a question?
What's he supposed to say?
Right.
Like, what's he supposed to say? Just like, yeah, Chiefs fans are the best. Jags fans, they're fucking 2 scoops of ass. They can't even hold a candle to them. He gave the Chiefs their props, but what I will say, no matter what he said in that situation, Chiefs fans were going to get riled up. Any fan base would get riled up. Not only that, the Chiefs, they want to set a record. It's 142.2. We know this. Juan Thornhill came out on Twitter. He recognized what happened, challenged Chiefs fans to break that record. It's all in good fun. I don't think Lawrence did anything wrong, but also I think Chiefs fans, they're going to prove why they're the loudest stadium in the world.
Look, wait. Here's the full quote. Lawrence says this: obviously, the environment and atmosphere we're going to play in is one of, if not the best in the NFL. But then he said, I can't imagine it will be much louder than our fans were here on Saturday, honestly. So he's like trying to give his fans, saying, hey, they really stepped up, almost as good as Chiefs fans. Of course, everyone in the digital age wants to like take a little snippet and then run with it to kind of create bulletin board fodder. But
Can Chiefs fans really have bulletin board fodder? Think about it. They've been drinking in the parking lot all day. This fan base is always at 11. We can't possibly be any more hyped. I don't think it's they're gonna be as loud as they possibly can be anyway. So it probably won't make much of a difference.
If he throws an interception, though, it's gonna pop off.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Like, I know the players don't care about that sort of thing. Generally, they're focused on the game. But like, yeah, man, sure, take it out of context, get the fans jacked up. I don't care. That's the whole fun of being a fan and home field advantage. Like, I don't need another reason to be. By the way, somebody earlier said, "Boy, Patrick took a grumpy pill today." You're damn right. It's wartime. It's the divisional playoffs, man.
You're our wartime consigliere.
Yeah. Nice guy Patty's out the window come playoffs. You might remember my rant against the city of Cincinnati last year in Skyline Chili, the AFC Championship game. By the way, shout out to Caleb out there, sports fan, who's been asking very persistently for a shout out. Shout out to you, brother. Thanks for
well as Wendy Hearn. Thank you, Wendy. You were great in the chat last night. We had an AA happy hour, so make sure if you want to join the conversation, join the Discord channel. We do AA happy hours. We talk during the game. It is a lot of fun. She was there having a blast with us. Shout out to Maurice from Germany, German podcast.
Dude, was it like 1 a.m?
Yeah. It was great. Trunks was the absolute man from Germany. 1 a.m. and dudes out here hanging with everyone. It was a great time. Ich liebe Bier.
Yeah, speaking of beer, this podcast is brought to you by the Kansas City Beer Company. I'm drinking a Schwartz beer. Matt, Connor, and Sterling are drinking. By the way, did you know we have our own beer? We happen to have our own beer. Arrowhead Lager. It's a root beer style red lager. It is so damn good. I'm hoarding mine. It's for victories only. Get down to the Kansas City Beer Company Beer Hall and get you some. They've got 6-packs there. It's on tap. You can get a nice big-ass German-sized mug of it. It's a highlight of our careers. Look at that.
It's a liter.
It's beautiful. Look at that beautiful logo. I love the label. I love everything about it. I drank one last night during our members-only happy hour. It was a great time. Hey, but if you want to help us, the best thing that you could do, and if you want to get a little action on the game tonight, we get this deal. For all legal betting states, use the code Arrowhead, and you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. So it's our friends at BetMGM. So using our promo code Arrowhead is a great way to support us. We get a small fee from BetMGM for every new bettor that uses our code. So if you don't have a BetMGM account, do us a solid. Sign up right now before the game. Use the code Arrowhead, make a deposit, and place a $10 bet. It's got to be $10, and then you'll keep us in business. We'll be able to keep Sterling on board. And keep him in the his hair gel is very expensive. Okay, so it's for new customers only, 21 plus. You got to be present in the select states. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credits. Free bets expire 7 days from insurance. See the full terms.
I got you. I'll hit you here.
You doing
Gambling problem, call text 1-800-GAMBLER, Illinois, Indiana, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Wyoming, 1-800-522-4700, Colorado, Kansas, 877-8-HOPE-NY, or text HOPE-NY, New York, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona, 888-789-7777, Connecticut, 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa, 1-877-770-STOP, 7867, Louisiana. Call text Tennessee Redline, 1-800-889-9789, Tennessee, or 1-888-532-3500, Virginia.
If we ever have an AA auction, we know who the auctioneer is.
It's gonna be. We should turn this into a drinking game, and whenever we get to the gambling hotline numbers, everybody start drinking. Like waterfall style, and you can't stop until we finish the phone numbers. So
if Adam does it, you're getting just torched. I mean, if Adam is doing that, you're drinking 7 beers.
Yeah. So somewhere there's a regulator right now who's writing me up for. It's making light of the gambling hotline numbers and then trying to get people hooked on the booze at the same time.
Take gambling seriously. If you have an actual issue, go to that number. You can pause it down and see it. The numbers are on the bottom of the screen. If you have an actual gambling problem, please don't bet and call one of those numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a gambling problem, please use that Arrowhead code on BetMGM before the game. Download it right now. And it really makes a huge difference to us. So thank you. All right, let's get back to the game. So what are you guys worried about? Now, I was thinking about this before the game. And I wanted to kind of leave it broad. Are you worried about a certain player, Josh Allen over on the Jaguars? Are you worried about Doug Peterson and his trick plays? The only thing I'm worried about is that it's win or go home. Like as confident as I am about the Chiefs, the thing that always makes me nervous is that, sometimes things go wonky. We've seen great Patriots teams get run over randomly by the Baltimore Ravens and get knocked out of the playoffs. Like, it happens. So that's what I'm scared of. What are you guys scared of?
I'll say this just in general. We've seen the Chiefs come out and look flat at times, and having the week off previously, I think it's possible that, like, long term, it was so good for them to get that rest, but there's also some rust. And so I'm hoping that they come out and look sharp as well as healthy versus like needing a few drives to like, oh yeah, get back into things, especially in the cold, especially when, the Jags are coming off playing last week and they're like having been in that rhythm.
I think it's turnovers. If they give the Jaguars 3-4 more possessions than Pat Mahomes gets, that's the only way I see them losing. The only way. They just can't do that. They did that last time and still, won fairly easily. I think they're going to flip the switch, honestly. I think this is going to be a blowout.
I would say rattlesnakes. They're poisonous. They're very dangerous. If that happens on the field, I'd be very concerned. But seriously, my main concern would be that the Jacksonville Jaguars, we know they're going to be extremely aggressive, and they just have everything go their way. They convert on every single fourth down. They go for it on 4th and 3 on their own 40. They continuously pick that up. They go for multiple 2-point conversions, and they convert on every single one. That would be my only concern. If everything goes their way, but there's not a necessary matchup that the Jags do better than Kansas City. There's not like a certain area where like, well, they run the ball so efficiently, or Trevor Lawrence is better than Mahomes, or their defense is elite, or their offensive line or D-line. They don't have any of that. Yeah. The only way in my mind that this goes south for KC is if they just get everything falling their way.
For me, I'd say look out for the first half of the first quarter. You ever watch college football? There's such a discrepancy in the top programs and some of the teams they play. But sometimes they'll go into a game and they're playing like a MAC school or whatever, and like they'll get a touchdown drive. Like you'll see like, oh man, Alabama's down 7-0, and then they win like 65-7. I think you got to watch out for that initial surge. They're all juiced up. They're jacked up, the opponent. Before they start to get tired, before the cream sort of rises to the top, you don't want to have too much damage happen in an NFL game in those early moments. I'd love to see the Chiefs come out, establish themselves right away, both on defense and offense, and get going on special teams as well, and then just sort of cruise the rest of the way and have another game, kind of like they did against Jacksonville last time, which was a little frustrating in the second half, but you never felt like they were going to lose, and they ended up winning by 10.
Can we get a repeat of last year's Steelers game in the playoffs where the Chiefs just came out and reinforced the voice in the back of the Steelers' head that said, we don't belong here, we're not on this level? Yeah. Just put your foot on their neck right away and don't give them any hope. I think a team like this, who's never been here before, you don't want to make them think they belong.
I would love that, because last time I did a live stream for Arrowhead Addict, we did the live stream for the Steelers-Chiefs game, and it was so boring because the Chiefs were just crushing the Steelers. It ended up being a beer counter for me, and that almost is bad for my health, because that was what everyone wanted to see, was me shotgunning beers. And let me tell you, it's not good. It's not good.
We got a super chat, by the way. Shout out to our guy Sloth Style. Is it just me, or does Trevor Lawrence look like the love child of Lord Farquaad and Prince Charming from Shrek? Yes. Yes is the answer to your question.
No lies detected.
Did you guys know, or have you ever noticed the scene in Shrek where Lord Farquaad looks like he's maybe pleasuring himself? Have you ever caught that? It's there.
This really went off the rails, guys.
It went off the rails. It's when he's watching the tape. Oh my God. Good Lord. It's when he's watching the tape back and he's like rewinding it. If you look, he's laying in bed with no shirt on and his arm is, I'm just saying, it's there.
Okay, so Patrick Allen's very fixated on Shrek and Lord Farquaad. So what?
People didn't know. People need to know. They show that movie to their children.
As far as the bye week, does this help Kansas City? Are you guys nervous at all? The week off, Andy Reid's 28-6 off a bye. We know this, but are you guys nervous at all about a slow start?
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, sloppy weather, a little bit of rust, jacked up opponent coming off an emotional win last week, playing with house money. You could see the Chiefs playing a little flat and then getting frustrated early. That's not something I want to see, but it is certainly on the table.
But look, all season long, from week 1 to week 8 to week 18, we've said this conference is the Bills, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. Bills, Bengals, Chiefs. Bills, Bengals, Chiefs. Bills, Bengals, Chiefs. And the Final Four, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, and the Jags. Like, for anyone to realistically expect the Jags to rise up and go, include me, should take some Herculean effort from Trevor Lawrence. In other words, the Jags should have to force their way into the conversation. Not a single one of us should be saying, oh, yeah, come on into the conversation because we'd like something to worry about. Or we don't want to take any opponent lightly. Like, we should take them lightly. We've taken them lightly all season. There's no need to start now because they're facing the Chiefs. I'm taking them lightly. I think the biggest problem is I'm more worried about Little John being able to perform in the cold at halftime than I am about anything the Jags bring to the field. I just think it's silly to act like they're in this upper echelon. It's been a trio all season. I'll start to worry next week in the AFC Championship game.
Have you guys seen that meme that of the like army soldiers where there's like 3 army soldiers and then there's that clown? The clown is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Richard, maybe you can find that for us. And as long as we don't have the Applebee's guy performing at halftime, I think we're golden.
Yeah.
Dude, I have seen way too many. I'm still heartbroken and scarred by previous Chiefs in the playoffs. I know it's different now. I don't take any team lightly. Trevor Lawrence has been a top 7, maybe top 5 quarterback, second half of the season. I think Doug Peterson is an incredible head coach. Christian Kirk is worth the money, which I never thought I would be saying. They're not as talented as Kansas City, but you can't take them lightly. They're in the playoffs for a reason. They beat the Chargers for a reason. They're at least a solid team. Come on, give them some credit here.
I just want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all are even more off the rails than we are with the Lord Farquaad talk. Not going to point out any specifics, but
you just want someone to have your side, Patrick. No one even commented about Lord Farquaad, and you're the only like, thanks guys for having my back. No one had your back.
I'm not talking about, they're not having my back about Lord Farquaad. Sterling, you got to catch up in the chat, man. There's a whole thing going on.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
It's bananas. It's great. I love it.
That face is going to be your expression when they go up by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, right. All right. We got to start wrapping it up because they're going to be kicking off at any minute. Last minute score predictions. I know we've all done some probably at one point or another this week, but let's lock them in. How do you feel? Sterling?
27-22 Chiefs win. I think it's going to be a little closer, just a playoff game. Maybe the Jaguars score a late touchdown to make it closer than it really appears. The reason why I think it's low scoring, they're going to be long possessions on both sides. The Jaguars will go for it on 4th down early and often. That'll extend their drives. They might get stopped later on a 4th down, but they might pick up 1 or 2 early on. The Chiefs, I think, will have a great job passing through the air, but it's going to be shorter routes, underneath routes, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Travis Kelce, 10 catches, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, but they'll move the ball methodically. 27-22 Chiefs.
Adam?
38-17 Chiefs. The thing to watch out for on defense is I think Spags is going to tell his corners, maul them till they call them, right? They Snead and Watson were 1 and 2 according to PFF in press coverage snaps. So if you think about the playoffs, the refs are probably going to be a little less likely to throw a flag. They want the TV to be entertaining. The networks want that too. And then offensively, look for play action. The Chiefs really had success the first time around, 4 explosive plays out of play action. I think those are going to be some of the differences. The linebackers for the Jags, they've got 2 rookies that I think Andy Reid is going to pick on, Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd. So watch for that.
Love it. Love it. Matt Connor.
I'm with you guys. I think it's 30-13. I think it's I think they easily cover the spread. I just again, I've already said my piece. I don't know why we would doubt the Chiefs at any rate. The Jags just aren't a contender, and that doesn't mean they've had a great season. That like even if they lose by a bunch, Jacksonville fans should feel very, very good about the season that they've had under Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence's growth curve in the future of this franchise.
I'm going to go 33-24 Chiefs. I don't think it'll be quite that close. Late score by the Jags. I just think the Jags are about to run into a little bit of a buzzsaw. Honestly, that game last week against the Chargers, that was basically like regular season game, right? Neither of those teams like have been in the playoffs. They're just playing a playoff game. Now they're going up against the Jags, a team in the Kansas City Chiefs who, yeah, they've got some young guys in there as well who have never played in a playoff game, but a lot of veterans and at the very important positions as well. And I just don't think they're going to be ready for the intensity that the Chiefs bring early in this game. And it's going to be too late. No comebacks this week. So Chiefs take it. All right, everybody, we got to get over there. It's kickoff. We'll see you at halftime right back here on the Arrowhead Addict YouTube channel. But until then, for Sterling Holmes, Adam Best, Matt Connor, my name is Patrick Allen. Go Chiefs.